Hello, gamers! Today, decorative objects and how to adjust the order in which they're drawn. So, we're going to do a couple things. This is going to enable you to basically populate your world with more interesting things. At this point, just decorative objects, but also to make sure that the character is drawn correctly. Okay, so if we bring in sort of something now, again, these are the pre-built kind of like environmental objects that come with the lessons. When you do your project, you'll be bringing in your own. So if we go ahead, let's just go. I'm in, of course, the Deco folder, and I'm going to environment. I'm going to bring in one of these decorations. I'm going to do this weird sort of object here. So again, I'm just going to just bring it in. Did I go here? Scene. There we go. So let's go ahead here. I'm just going to bring this in. There we go. Cool. All right. So I bring it in, and I go here to play. And the character just kind of goes on top of it. Okay. So I could do something in terms of adjusting its layer that it's drawn on. So I could do order and layer, and I could set this to what is the player character at? Player character is 0. I could do 1. Doesn't look good though. Okay. So you're going to see here that doesn't the top of his head then just goes behind it. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to do some adjustments here. So first of all, I'm going to change that order back to 0. Okay. And we're going to do some things. We're going to change what's called the pivot point in terms of how, where you're going to say a character is in terms of how things are drawn. And then we're going to make some changes to how the objects are basically drawn in a scene. So if we think of it like we're basically changing the rules for a specific layer of this game. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to go to the player character. All right. And we're going to go ahead here to our sprite sort point. And instead of the center, so if we think of the center, it's going to be right in the middle. We're going to go here we're going to say to a pivot. All right. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our settings right here, the settings folder. All right. Let me just settings down there. Okay. And we're going to go here to renderer 2D. From here, let's go ahead here and where it says our transparency sort mode. Okay. We're going to change this to custom axis, and we're going to keep these settings where they're at. Okay. So that's going to be x axis 0, y axis 1, z axis 0. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to the folder we grabbed this decorative object from. This can be any sort of folder. You might be doing the Ruby stuff, you might be doing the Sugarland stuff. Go to environment and let's go to this decoration, okay? And we're going to adjust what's called the pivot point. So the pivot point right now initially is set to just center. So the center of the object. We're going to change this to just bottom. And then we're going to click on apply. All right, you see how it moved? That's because now, in terms of where, if we change the sorry, that's not going to be very good. The y-axis, it's based upon where the bottom of the sprite rather than the center of the sprite. Okay, so the other thing we have to do is we have to go to the actual object itself, and we need to make sure that the sprite sort point is set to pivot as well. Okay, so we did two things. We adjusted our pivot point in the settings here as far as setting that to bottom, and then when we went to our project, we also set that sprite sort point to pivot. That's good stuff. I wish you the best of luck.